You don't need a new life, just a new morning. There's something sacred about early mornings that the world often overlooks. It isn't just about time, it's about space. A kind of silence that doesn't ask for anything, yet offers everything. The room is still, the streets are empty. The air carries a softness not found at any other hour. And in that softness, something begins to awaken, not just outside but within. Most people open their eyes and immediately step into noise. Notifications, headlines, responsibilities. The momentum of the day grabs hold of them before they've even had the chance to remember who they are. But some mornings, perhaps even today, there's a quiet question that arises from somewhere deeper than habit. Does it have to be this way? What if the first 30 minutes of your day aren't just a beginning but a mirror? A mirror that reflects not just how you slept, but how you live. What if the way we rise each morning is in fact one of the most honest expressions of what we believe about ourselves? Morning isn't only a transition from sleep to wakefulness. It's a threshold, a space between what was and what could be. And thresholds are powerful because they ask us to choose whether we carry yesterday's heaviness forward or let the light in first. So before we speak of routines or habits, let's speak of intention. Let's speak of presence. Because the habits that truly change us aren't the ones we add to a checklist, but the ones that reconnect us to what matters, to simplicity, to breath, to a sense of rhythm that is our own, not borrowed from the chaos outside. One, wake up early and consistently. Where you begin, you become. There's a strange kind of magic in waking up before the world does. Not because it's trendy, or because some high-achieving CEO swears by their 4:30 a.m. routine. But because in those early hours, when the noise hasn't yet begun, we get a rare invitation, a clean slate, a chance to decide who we want to be before the rest of the world tells us who we should be. Behavioral psychologist B.J. Fogg explains that motivation is a wave. If your habits rely solely on feeling motivated, you'll find yourself in a constant loop of inconsistency and guilt. That's why consistency is less about forcing discipline and more about designing an environment that supports who you want to become, even when you don't feel like it. Waking up early again and again becomes a quiet but powerful vote, not for the sake of a checklist, but for a life with less reactivity and more authorship. And maybe, just maybe, the moment you begin to honor the start of your day is the moment your day begins to honor you back. 2. Drink a glass of warm water, a ritual of return to the body. We often think of hydration in utilitarian terms, but in the rush of data, we forget the ritual. The symbolic act of offering the body what it quietly craves after hours of sleep. Gentleness, restoration, care. Behavioral scientist Dr. Wendy Wood reminds us that habits stick better when they feel good. Warm water in the morning isn't just a health tip, it's a sensory bridge back into the body. To begin your day by giving, not grabbing. To nourish before you demand. Tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, reach for water instead. Feel its warmth. Taste its simplicity. Notice how even something this small, when done with presence, can begin to rewire your entire relationship with self-care. 3. Meditate or breathe mindfully. Listening to the space between thoughts. Meditation isn't about perfection. It's about presence, about sitting, even for 5 minutes, just to be with yourself. Dr. Judson Brewer's research shows that even a few minutes of mindful breathing can interrupt the brain's habitual stress loops. The breath becomes a lifeline back to this moment. The mind softens. The nervous system calms. Your day begins with clarity, not chaos. So don't try to empty your mind. Just be willing to sit, to breathe, to listen. Because in that space, something inside you begins to remember what stillness feels like. 4. Read something nourishing. The first words that touch your mind. Reading something nourishing in the morning isn't about input, it's about alignment. When you choose the first words that touch your mind, you choose the tone your thoughts will echo. Dr. Rick Hansen notes that the brain is Velcro for the negative and Teflon for the positive. That's why it matters what you feed it first. A sentence from a sacred text, a poem, a reflection you wrote during a hard season. Let these words guide your day like a lighthouse in fog. Because the first voice you listen to often becomes your own. 5. Make your bed. Order the outer, steady the inner. Making your bed isn't about tidiness. It's about anchoring. A keystone habit, as Charles Duhigg puts it, that triggers a cascade of quiet order. To make your bed is to say, I close this chapter with intention. I'm ready for what comes next. Even on the messy days, especially on those days, this small gesture holds power. Because sometimes peace begins with corners tucked and a pillow straightened. 6. Move your body, stirring the still waters of self. You don't need a full workout, you need a return. A gentle awakening of muscle and breath that whispers, I am here. Kelly McGonigal reminds us that movement releases not just endorphins but a deeper sense of self-trust and resilience. A slow walk, a few stretches, dancing to music only you can hear. Whatever form it takes, let it be joyful. Let it be your way of saying, this body still belongs to me. 7. Eat a mindful, nourishing breakfast, feeding the body, honoring the day. Not just fuel, but ritual. Breakfast is not about performance. It's about presence. Dr. Jan Chozen-Bays describes mindful eating as returning attention to nourishment. When we slow down and actually taste our food, we begin to taste life again. Let each bite be a blessing. Let the meal say what words can't. You matter. Your care begins now. Eat. Set 1, 3 intentions for the day. Living by design, not by default. Intentions aren't goals, they're orientation. A compass, not a finish line. Dr. Roy Baumeister's research on willpower shows that decisions drain us. HOD, intentions simplify. They tell our nervous system what to prioritize. So write one thing you'll give your work, one thing you'll give yourself, one thing you'll offer someone else. Let your day be led by meaning, not momentum. 9. Express gratitude. Begin with enoughness. Gratitude isn't a list, it's a lens. Dr. Robert Emmons reminds us it blocks toxic emotions and invites emotional resilience. Some days it sounds like a whisper, still here. Some days it's a name, a moment, a memory. Noticing that something, however small, is still good. Let gratitude be the thread that binds your morning. Not because everything is perfect, but because something still is. 9. Gentle invitations. Not commandments. Not rules. Just quiet choices that whisper. You are allowed to begin again, before the inbox, before the traffic, before the noise. Just you, your breath, and a handful of choices that say, I am not a machine. I am a human being, and I choose to live like one. So tomorrow morning, pause, touch the ground with both feet, breathe before you scroll, and begin again. If this message spoke to you, share it, be the ripple. Subscribe for more stories and practices that awaken your inner compass. Until then, wake slowly, walk kindly, and begin again.